mental health is the state of one's thoughts and how that relates to how they feel.
It's kind of a life or death situation. Of course, it means a lot. And yeah, I have been a mental health advocate with my band Minor Paradox. We've done this thing called This Is My Brave, where we just talked about our experiences.
I've dealt with my own mental health issues over the years, and I've found ways to actually cope with it through exercise, finding friends that actually care about me, and doing things with them, and finding the common interests with them and doing them together, improving my own mental health over the years.
I would say that mental health is one of those things that is like kind of overlooked in today's society. Maybe not as much as it used to be, but I would consider mental health to be on par with someone's physical health as far as importance goes. If you're not in the right mindset in life, or you're not happy with your situation or what's going on, or yourself even, you're not going to be as likely to follow like healthy behaviors for your physical body as well. I think like if someone's having a tough time with their mental health, they're more likely to, at least from my own experience, use substances to maybe catch up to others almost and try to increase their satisfaction with life. Or they may, if someone's struggling in a certain area, they may be less motivated to go out and do stuff that is pretty healthy, like go on a run or something like that. So I think that addressing someone's mental health can not only impact like their happiness and like their satisfaction with life, it can also boost someone's physical health as well. And because of that, I think it to be extremely important for someone's overall well-being.
And I spent a lot of my time wanting to die, I think. And a lot of people don't understand that it's not just like adults or teenagers that go through this, it's kids, There are kids who want to die too.
69% of adults and 81% of teens in the US use social media. Almost 25% of adolescents believe that social media has a mostly negative effect.
They've impacted my mental health negatively because I'd see my friends open their phone and they'd have like 15 to 20 Snapchat notifications, and the most that I would have is 6, and one of them is from my family group chat. So just sometimes it makes me feel like less than them, because they are just seem more popular than me, or like they seem more loved than me, but in reality it's just me not being on my phone as much as them.
Younger generations feel restlessness when they were not able to access messages of their social networking apps, giving the rise to phantom vibration syndrome.
Yeah, I'd say that they're definitely like a time trap. There's something that if you're either doing homework or you feel sad or angry or whatever, I would get caught up in like just going straight back to that. Like I'd get really bored during doing homework or something, and I'd go straight to social media to kind of like maybe, I don't know, distract myself kind of. I'd be in a bad mood and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go to social media, try to distract myself again. So it's almost like a coping mechanism, but it's but like I wouldn't quite put it under that category. I would say also it's definitely something that, I don't know if this has necessarily affected me, but like I know of people that it has affected, where they get so sucked into social media and like what people put out on social media, and they start to compare like their own life and the things that are going on in their own life to stuff that they see on social media, which of course is not ever the full picture of someone else's life, but it can really make people start to feel less satisfied with their own life when they see other people doing things that they either wish to be doing or wish to be like or wish to look like or something like that. So I'd say that in our society today is like a huge impact of social media. But again, for me, it's just, for me personally, it was a time waster and a something that I would use to go back to when I was in like a bad mood or something of that sort.
I've tried to spend less time on them as of lately because I don't know. I mean, I think when I was younger, it made me feel like I was lonely because I saw everybody with all these friends and I didn't feel like I had many.
In a way, yeah. Like, I've just looking at news sources on Twitter, seeing like Instagram models on Instagram. It definitely has taken a some kind of toll on it. Like seeing just doing like body image comparisons on Instagram and just hearing all the sad news things on Twitter, and just hearing, just seeing all the stuff like the, all the issues going on at least in today's climate.
The social media platform Instagram made headlines last year for suppressing likes in an effort to curb comparisons and hurt feelings associated with attaching popularity to sharing content. To boost self-esteem and feel a sense of belonging in their social circles, people post content with the hope of receiving positive feedback.
Yeah, I guess that was a little bit of a thing, self-comparison. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a comparison where it's like, hey, this person has more friends than me, or when I was younger, I'd be like, this person's cuter than me, or like, look at her, she's so pretty, and why can't I be that, like that, you know?
I think that it is horrible for a person's mental health and that nobody should compare themselves to other people just because of the negative side effects of it. You can look at other people and be inspired by them, but everyone needs to appreciate where they are in their life.
People in today's world are so obsessed with what their fellow humans are doing rather than what's actually going on in their own lives. It makes it hard for us to actually be appreciative of what we have in our own lives when we see, oh, Johnny's in Hawaii, why am I not in Hawaii? Or Finn has a really nice family and maybe I don't, or something like that. People get it sort of breeds jealousy too in that comparison, which again is something that I think is super toxic. It's a very toxic effect of social media, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of social media, like, at all. I think the only one I have is Snapchat. That's just to stay in touch with people. And I would definitely consider myself a huge proponent of deleting social media and not letting it get to be something that has too big a hold on any of our lives.
Social media was believed to cause mood and anxiety disorders. It was also viewed as a form of cyberbullying. Social media was often framed as a kind of addiction as well.
And then I realized how shallow those thoughts really were, I guess there was a little bit of self-comparison and just seeing other people happy or seeing people look happy.
The current correctional study examined 467 young adults for their time spent using social media, importance of social media in their lives, and tendency to engage in vague booking, which is posting unclear but alarming posts to get attention.
Yeah, I find it like an issue in that because the people will compare themselves to a very the very pretty person, and just finding it, and one that being that pretty is like very, very rare and very hard to like attain.
Over 40% of adolescent girls and over 20% of adolescent boys report using social media for more than 3 hours per day. The most popular social media platforms are Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Well, I use social media for my career. So I think, like, if I wanted to go, I wouldn't be able to do my career as it, like, maybe it would be harder for me to get places because I probably would have to move to Hollywood, I'm a lead singer. and a songwriter, and I'd probably have to move to Hollywood if I wanted to do that. And I don't want to do that, but I'll do it if I have to. Anyways, yeah, so social media has really helped me with that. It's helped me, see people I wouldn't have seen before. I think it is important for, like, recognition, and I think there are good things that come out of it. Like, I'm part of an art website where I bond with other artists and talk. And I've actually gotten some recognition there with my music, too. So,
Even if you know that images you're viewing on social media are manipulated, they can still make you feel insecure about how you look or what's going on in your own life.
well, cancel culture has gotten a lot worse, and I've at least tried to avoid the places where I have to look at it, because there's a lot of things that there are things that it's like, wow, so you're gonna ruin somebody's career over a mistake, and it just stresses me out to go see that. And even if you leave something positive for people to look at, they still have something nasty to say. It's amazing. Like, I think it's where the worst people go when they have nothing else to do, And, like, I think the worst people spend the most time on there.
I feel like people would also be more focused on themselves, not in like a selfish way, but just working on bettering themselves rather than comparing themselves to other people. If I didn't have social media, I feel like I would be a lot more productive. I'd be happier, more fulfilled, more focused on the important things in my life. And I guess I just stay on it to stay in touch with like my family back home and my friends back home, which that's like a good thing about it, is that you can still stay in touch with people that have meant something in your lives that you don't see on the everyday basis. But it can also just be a distraction from what's really important in life, like homework and working out and just everyday things and spending time with people in person.
Yeah, I think you'd see a lot less like jealousy and insecurity among people because they wouldn't be so caught up in what other people are doing. They'd be more focused on themselves. I think you might also see people that are more satisfied with their life in general. And because when you're not spending that much time on something like social media, you're more driven. I mean, you have more free time, just plain and simple, you do. And I think, once people have that free time, if they were to just completely cut out social media, they'd fill it with something, either a hobby or expanding on like their homework or something like that, that could in turn make them a little bit happier because, a lot of people are like event driven, right? Or like completion driven, like when they complete something, say they spend more time on their homework and they actually learn it, that can boost your mood, that can boost your perception of how your day is going, stuff like that. And also, like, if you spend that extra time on like a hobby or something, of course you're going to have a better time because you're going to be spending your time on something that you thoroughly enjoy, whether that be exercising, something like that. And I think people would be a little bit more able to carry conversations better instead of, I see a lot of times, as soon as a conversation takes a little bit of a downturn, everybody gets onto their phone and it starts either texting someone that's not there, going on social media, whatever it is, instead of being like truly present with whoever it is that's talking to them or something like that. So I think you'd also see a deepening of relationships too because of that effect. And I've seen in my own personal life, like, I never want to go back to social media. I want to be completely off. And I hope I can get to a point where I can even delete the last few remaining that I do have because I've seen that much of an uptick in better time usage and just quality of life.
I think we would be doing more. I think we would be hanging out with each other more, and maybe I think if social media didn't exist, it would be both good and bad because I think if social media should exist, it shouldn't be so addicting. I really wish it weren't so addicting because if it wasn't, we'd do more, but then we'd be able to get ourselves out there. And also, I just think that's why cancel culture's a thing. They they've got nothing to do.
According to a 2018 survey, 31% of adolescents believe that social media has a mostly positive impact in their life. Adolescence is a time when connections with peers is increasingly important, and social media provides opportunities for social connection.
I think that it is possible for life to be better without social media in the picture, because if you are very close to someone, you should have their phone number. And then you can text them, you can tell them about your day, you can FaceTime them. That's a huge thing now. Like, the ability to video chat with your loved ones back home is huge.